Today we go over Week 9 and try to get you ready for Week 10 with upcoming buys, waivers, and much more. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the JSD Fantasy Football Podcast with your boy, Scott Papa Fox Jackson, my guy, Mr. Prestige John Evans, and the one and only bearded warrior, Big Dale Gibson. And we are JSD. Welcome to the pod, y'all.
I'm John.
Scott. I'm Dale.
And we are JSD Fantasy. Welcome to the show. How you boys doing?
And on the way, baby. I'm good.
Hanging in there. Another week of football down. Crazy week, for sure. Crazy week.
Yep. I think we had a lot of high-scoring players. Definitely some close calls in some of my leagues, but I surprisingly I pulled out the win in most of my leagues. I lost one of my Yahoo leagues and I lost two of my sleepers. So 7 out of 10 ain't bad, guys.
Yes, sir. I had a mixed week. The ones that mattered, the big money leagues, I pulled those out last minute. I had like 3 or 4, and then all the other ones, weeks to forget.
Yeah. In total, I think I went 3 for 8. Not good. Not good at all. So, and the ones that mattered are the ones that I lost in, of course. So, another down week, but got to start over again next week.
Yeah, you know what they say. There's always next week. So
until there is.
9 of them.
Speaking of, next week, week 10, we've got 4 teams on bye. We only had the 2 this week with the Niners and the Steelers. Next week, it's going to be Browns, Packers, Raiders, and Seahawks. So plan accordingly. And I have some players out there. Yeah, and what was I going to say about that?
Plan for CMC. He's back, baby.
There you go. That's a perfect way to go into that. Yeah, CMC is expected back. He did practice today with the team. Here we go.
Activated off of IR. 21-day window is open. They are slating him back for week 10.
Yeah, and they could definitely use him for sure. They need to rattle off wins and fast. And hopefully he comes back at 100%. And there's no setbacks along the way leading up into week 10. And pray to the football gods that there's no setbacks during the game, because they cannot afford to have him go out again, especially rest of season. So fingers crossed that he's fully healthy moving forward and the Niners are back to, Niners from last year. But we'll see.
Well, I saw something actually. I saw a stat. I forget the exact numbers, but essentially the Niners' signature play is second half of the season, go on a crazy run, and go into the playoffs full swing. So we're hoping for that again.
I knew the way I played fantasy football resembled something. Oh, that's what it was.
So let's see if we can bring it back. CMC 100% of snaps. Week 10. Let's go.
All right, let's maybe ease him in. Let's do 90% of the snaps. He's still going to get plenty of work. Yeah, not even fantasy football related. Excited about CMC coming back, but I'm really tired of feeling like a fool drafting him with my first round pick, overall first pick in a couple of leagues. So, yeah, finally holding him in my IR spot. It's going to pay off. And, yeah, let's get it.
Yes, sir.
So, I don't think we have any announcements this week other than the fact that we're kind of getting closer to using Discord as our new platform to be able to do it's going to allow us to do live streams without having a subscription minimum. It should give us some other little like bells and whistles that we'd like to have, including the multi-screen that we've been wanting to have, so you can see our reactions as we talk trash on the other guys, or have a bold take, and we just, or we could see if Scott's nodding off. Could be
I
anything.
guarantee that'll keep me up.
So,
Way to call our man out like that.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Hey, you guys know 10:30 is my bedtime.
Yeah, that's fine. We got 27 minutes. Let's get it done. No, for real though. So we're looking forward to that. We'll do a little bit more homework on that this week. I think we're going to start get a little heavier with advertising on our socials. More to come on that, but the main concentration right now is the moving forward Discord, so we can get a better quality video out to you guys, and it'll be mobile friendly too, so we can do it on the phone, do it on the laptop, whatever. So to be continued. Other than that, let's see. Any big injuries this week besides Dak Prescott? Like,
CD had an injury scare besides the one tonight with Mahomes. CD has a sprained AC joint. They're saying it's not serious. It's kind of like a stinger, kind of like Jordan Mason had.
right.
I don't even know if it's as serious as Jordan Mason's though. So CD questionable. We'll see how he is at practice, but Dak is out for multiple weeks, probably about 4 to 6 weeks, realistically.
Yeah.
Derek Carr tried to sacrifice Chris Olave.
Oh my God.
Did not succeed, but came very close.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised. Now, is that back-to-back weeks with concussions, or was
Not
there a week?
back-to-back.
Or was there a week in between?
There's
Nope.
a week in between.
There was a week in-
his career.
Yeah.
concussion.
So
it was. You're right. Sorry, I was thinking about who came back. Tyrone Tracy came back from concussion in a short week. So, but yeah, you're right. There was one in between, but still brutal hit. Took him out. Took him to the hospital immediately on the stretcher board. Dude, it was an ugly hit.
I wouldn't be surprised if they hold him out multiple games. Maybe put him on IR like they did Tua.
Yeah.
Given his concussion history, I don't think I knew about his concussion history like Tua's. His is just very out there just because of how it happened with Tua. But with Olave, after this last hit and having a concussion just 2 weeks ago, I think they're gonna take their time easing him back in. I don't rule out an IR stint for him, especially where the season is for the Saints. Seeing as how they just fired their head coach.
Yeah, Dennis Allen's gone. Yeah, he if their bye is in week 12, so putting him on IR is actually a very smart thing for them to do, just so they can give him the proper rest to come back from that and then reevaluate to see if they even want to put him in harm's way to finish out the season. So that leaves a lot of question marks at receiver for the Saints.
Well, Bub Means is currently on IR. That will leave them with Marcus Tipton.
Mason Tipton. So you've got Mason Tipton, Kamara out of the backfield, Juwan Johnson, and Taysom Hill. That's your Saints offense.
All right. Not excited about that at all. If anybody picked up Derek Carr this last week thinking like, all right, he's back. Yeah, put him back. Go get Cooper Rush. If you're that desperate, get Cooper Rush. But don't do that either. So we got that. You guys watched the game tonight. It seems like K. Dotton almost bends in half the wrong way once every other game. There was a hit that man took, and he held onto the ball, as he always does. K. Dotton's crazy. I am a huge fan now. But he got hit by a defender after catching the ball as he caught the ball, and that dude bent backwards and then held on, like just crazy. I'm surprised he's gonna be sore tomorrow, but I'm surprised like he stayed in that game and did as much as he did. Yeah, K. Dotton's been killing it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that hit that you're talking about. He took it directly from the back, blind side, didn't see it coming. But like you said, he was able to hang on to that ball. And Otten's a very like old school tight end, it seems like. Doesn't play with gloves, and he just goes out there and he plays hard-nosed football, which is nice to see in these times where you don't see that too often. So definitely a fan of Kate Otten in real life and fantasy purposes.
Yes, sir. I think I recall somebody was picking him as a tight end pickup a couple weeks ago. Just saying.
Oh yeah, no, I was high on him too, especially after Evans and Godwin went out on that game. He was already producing, but his numbers have definitely gone up, and he is a top receiver in that offense. Even with Jalen McMillan in, I think he's your wide receiver one in that offense, to be honest.
Well, McMillan missed this game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah, even with him out this game, Sterling Shepard showed up. He was worth about in full PPR, he was about 15, I believe, something like that.
Yes, sir.
You were take a point?
Yeah, right under 15. I think it was like 14.9. What's so crazy though is up until about I want to say like the end of the fourth quarter, Baker only had 2 completions to wide receivers. The dude was making it work with everybody else. So Baker's been trying. He's not going out without a fight.
And that's the crazy awesome thing about Baker this year. Like, it just seems like he's back in his element. Him in Tampa Bay has been a match made in heaven, and the fans there love him too. It was funny. I saw a picture. Was it last week? It's a picture with a bunch of fans out somewhere, and they're all walking the other way, but they're all wearing different Mayfield jerseys from different teams that he's been on. Like, and it was just like, yeah, he has been around the block, but no, he's been playing lights out. Even this game in the rain against the Chiefs. I mean, I think this is the closest that the Chiefs have come to losing, even though they still pulled the win out. And I'll give it to the Chiefs. They didn't require a lot of flags in this one to get them the win.
Hey man, can we talk about Superman Mahomes for a second though?
No.
Come on, man.
Hey, he's still not that good. He's not doing a lot. There was a questionable
290 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, man.
Okay. There was a questionable forward pass or toss where he looked like he crossed the line of scrimmage to throw the ball, and
that was on the injury play, right?
Yeah. So, and resulted in a touchdown.
And I think that's the play that he got injured. Everybody thought he was out. He came back to save the fantasy night.
Well, I'd be interested to see what the injury report says going into this next week with whatever he sustained, whether it be his ankle or his knee. I'm assuming he played through it with, just the adrenaline that he had. And once he gets that adrenaline dump and he feels whatever pain it is, we'll see how bad it is. But, I don't wish injury on anybody, so hopefully it's not too serious. But he could definitely sit out the rest of the season. That's okay with me.
They're saying it was his ankle.
It looked like his knee. or Achilles, or just, you know what? They should take it off and do some tests. All right, moving on. So going back to this. So this week we only suffered a couple of teams being out for the bye, the Steelers and the Niners. Next week, we've got the 4 teams, the Browns, Packers, Raiders, Seahawks. Plan accordingly. Some people probably dropped Boswell for the Steelers as a kicker. If you had Will, what's his name for the Vikings, guard, like he had a calf strain, and that's why he was only worth like 3 points this week. He got hurt, so a lot of people picked him up to roll with him the rest of the season because of his no miss record this entire year. Well, that came to a halt this last week. So if you're in need for a kicker and there's really not a lot available, Boswell is a great choice for the Steelers. They're coming back from their bye, and you don't have to worry about replacing your kicker for the rest of the year. As long as Russell Wilson keeps throwing to his targets and they keep scoring or getting close, and should be good. Let's see. What else are you guys thinking?
Oh, dude. I know we got to talk about Joe Cool Burrow. That boy, 5 touchdown passes. Mike Gesicki with the huge day. I want to say he was tight end 1. Kelsey came close tonight, but I'm pretty sure, at least in PPR, Mike Gesicki was tight end 1 on the week.
Hold on a second. What are you talking about? How many points did he get?
Mike Gesicki in PPR, he had 35 points.
35 points. Kelsey didn't.
There's no way Kelsey topped it.
No. Otten was worth 24.7 in full PPR.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Who else had a big week for tight ends?
Kelsey was worth 28.
Yeah. Mike Gesicki was 35.
Yeah, I guess,
Kelsey came close, but
Gesicki came close, but
Mike Gesicki, man.
Gesicki, that's a hell of a game.
Receiving yards, 2 passing touchdowns. I forget how many receptions, but when Higgins is out, man, Mike Gesicki is the man.
Yeah. I picked up Gesicki in one league, one of my sleeper leagues. Didn't help me out overall, but it's nice knowing that I have now another reliable tight end, and I can use him going forward. With Higgins out, like you said, he's really that number 2. Yoshi didn't get much, if any, work this last game, so it's nice to see Burrow throwing the ball to tight ends finally, giving them an extra offensive weapon like that. It's nice. Maybe they can turn their season around with this next game with the Ravens. I know that's it's a rivalry game for them, so maybe they can turn it around, and we'll see how it goes going forward.
Well, I think they also had to depend on Gesicki a lot with Zach Moss out, even though Chase Brown 33.7 points.
Yeah, buddy.
So the rookie has arrived.
Yeah, man.
So any other big games, big players worth a shout out?
Man, Rams, Seahawks. That boy Jackson Smith and Jigba.
That's a guy to have. That's a guy to have. Am I right?
He showed the fuck up. I want to say he's wide receiver 1 on the week with 40-something points.
42 points.
Yeah, man. That was tough. Now, of course, the Rams pulled out the win in that division game, but also Cooper Kupp is still that guy.
Yep, I agree. I was going to mention. How about these ejections this week? Puka Nacua threw a punch, got ejected. The safety for the Lions ejected. Was it one of the Packers?
That was questionable. The BB ejection. They're saying like
Yeah.
unnecessary rep, like intent. He wasn't trying to hurt that man. He was trying to get the ball. He's just trying to dead the play. Man.
I don't know. I think I remember seeing that video, and he was looking at him. The ball went through his hands, and then he lowered his shoulder to engage the hit after seeing that. Like, unless he was looking off to the side of his girlfriend or something, he should have seen that. He lowered and he went for it anyway, and he knocked the hell out of him. Nah, I don't disagree with the call there from what I saw, but I wasn't watching that game either. I was at work, but I'll leave it to you fellas and the people that were there. So, anybody else get thrown out? Oh, got thrown out of their jobs. So Dennis Allen from the Saints, we mentioned that earlier. Woke up Monday morning for the Raiders OC getting let go.
Mm-hmm.
So
Raiders
that offense
seems to be kind of a running theme with people that coaches that are losing to the Panthers. So you guys think? I think the Giants play them soon, right? Dable's already on the hot seat. So
he needs to go anyway. So whether it's after they lose to Carolina possibly or now, it's just not working out. But the Raiders also are offensive, a quarterback's coach and another, I believe, assistant coach today. So they're starting to down their front office there. I mean, they
revamp that offense.
Yeah, they're not really playing for anything but a at this point.
Time to rebuild.
Hey man, I just gotta say one thing. Free Malik Neighbors, bro. Like, I don't know what kind of play calling is going on, but the last
Brian
two games,
Dable. Brian
the
Dable.
last two games, man, is like they ignore him completely in the first half, and in the
Daniel
second
Jones.
half, they send him like 15 targets in the second half of each game, but by that time it doesn't fucking matter. What are we doing? Like, give your best player the ball. Give your main playmaker the ball.
I don't know what to say to it, man. It's coaching, it's Daniel Jones, and the game script, and I mean, it's not for lack of talent. Like the kid's got the talent. Yeah, it's time to let him go. Let it loose.
I got one question. I got another question. How the fuck did Daniel Jones get 39 fucking points in full PPR?
Because he's a gunslinger.
Probably by rushing too.
It was mainly rushing. He had a rushing touchdown. He had like 70, 80 rushing yards. He only threw for 170 passing yards, but I think he had 2 touchdowns as well. None to Malik Neighbors.
Well, maybe he thinks that he's got to do it himself.
So he had 174 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, surprisingly no interceptions, 7 rushes for 54 yards and a touchdown.
Okay, no interceptions. That is a surprise.
Yeah.
So
he's still trash.
Did you guys see that was his first touchdown in MetLife Stadium in 674 days?
Somewhere I did see that.
Probably more like 674 games.
If he makes it, wait, who has the most NFL games played?
As a quarterback?
Yeah, anybody.
Oh, it's got to be Brady.
I would say that, actually. I would believe that. That's a good stat to find out.
Let me see.
I'm going to go Frank Gore.
Oh, my boy, Gore.
Are we going by position or are we going quarterback?
Just ever.
Most games played as a player.
Mercedes Lewis.
All right. Well, Dale's looking that up so we don't have just quiet airtime. One other thing, Saquon Barkley doing a backwards hurdle.
Oh,
Have
my
you guys ever seen
God.
anything like that?
Dude, you can't
No.
even do that in Madden. It's not even a Madden move.
No, it's not. And I play Madden.
I watched that and I hurt myself
Dude,
just thinking about doing it, and I'm like, nope. And I tweaked my back, and well, it's not good. That was
that man
crazy.
is a beast. That was insane.
Shout out to Alonzo for getting him everywhere that we've ever played fantasy football with him, because he was super high on him. We should have been higher on him.
Dude,
Craziness. That man gifted.
if I have any regrets, I don't have a lot of regrets this fantasy season. The biggest regret I have is me having the chance to take Derrick Henry and Saquon back to back, and I took Derrick Henry and fucking Kyrie Williams. Still not a scrub or nothing, but Saquon, man,
No,
that would have been game over.
And now you have either.
Oh, that's cool. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
It's fun. The players he's talking about right now, he won't have in 2 weeks. It's fine.
hey, now.
So
Don't say that.
I have an answer to the most played games question.
All right, what is it?
All right, do you guys want to take one more guess? Because I don't think either of you are going to get it.
Okay.
I'm standing on Mercedes Lewis.
John?
I'll go. Yeah, I got nothing.
Morton Anderson. 382 NFL games.
Sheesh.
Kicker.
Yeah.
How many
Played
seasons?
25 seasons.
God, 25 seasons.
25 seasons.
And Brady did what, 23?
Brady played in 335 games.
He was drafted in 01. Brady was drafted in 2001, right? Or was it 2000?
He played 23 seasons.
Okay.
So he was drafted in 1 then, right?
2001. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So, wow. Stellar. I'm going to be a kicker. At my age, I still got like 12 years left. All right. The only other thing is AJ Brown injury.
Yeah. Was it his hammy again?
Yeah. Devonta Smith, his price went up after that. I actually had that game I was watching real close because I had Devonta Smith and Brian Thomas Jr. and the Jags came back there towards the end. And I'm like, all right, Brian Thomas Jr. touchdown. Devontae did his. Let's go. And they stopped him. So, but, that's how it goes sometimes. What's the news on AJ on his timeout?
They're saying that he's questionable. I want to say it's day to day right now. Obviously they got to check it out, see what's going on. But as we've seen, anytime AJ Brown is out, Devonta eats. When AJ Brown is around, not so much.
I remember them having back and forth, up and down games last year, but I think this could hurt Devonta Smith's value as far as they're going to double team him, and you don't have Goddard available, so you're going to have a lot of.
Calcaterra, though, has been serviceable.
Who's that?
Calcaterra?
Yeah.
If I'm saying that right. He's actually been pretty serviceable with Goddard out. And remember the beginning of the season when AJ Brown was out for the first 4 weeks? Devonta was actually performing pretty well as the number one receiver. It's really different this year, though, because Jalen Hurts isn't throwing the ball as much. He's been a lot more efficient. Realistically, he's throwing the ball maybe 20 to 30 times a game, 30 on being the high side. So
he has Saquon Barkley. He has Saquon Barkley. That's where it's going.
So he's being more efficient. I feel like he's playing a lot better than he has in years past. But with that being said, when AJ Brown is around, AJ Brown is the favorite. So Devonta kind of is on the outside looking in. But Brown is out. Fire him up.
Yep, I agree.
Maybe look at Jahan Dotson finally stepping up too.
I did notice that, yes. So that might be an option, especially with the waiver wire. Speaking of waiver wires, because there's probably not a lot out there for you guys to pick. Really, I've got a few suggestions. Just because there's a lack of options. These players, either anybody you might need off the Niners or the Steelers that somebody dropped this past week because of the bye, if they're available and they're a value pickup, and you want to burn a waiver for them, go for it. Otherwise, other good players that performed well this past week, we got Quentin Johnson for the Chargers, Demarcus Robinson for the Rams. Obviously, he got more work when Puka got kicked out of the game. Puka only got like 3-something points. I'm not happy about that for the sportsmanship of it, but I am happy about what it did because I played 2 teams that had Puka, and it did fine by me. If Puka would have stayed in, I actually would have lost the work league. And then Sterling Shepard tonight. He was worth about 15, give or take a point, in full PPR. So those are some options. If you're looking for running back, turn to go the other way. I don't think there's an option. It's just we're at that point where we'll get there here in a couple of segments, but you may need to trade, do some package trades to get yourself a running back, or just work something out because there's really nowhere else to turn at the moment. Are you going to go Dalvin Cook with the Cowboys? Zeke's on the outs. I mean, like, really, it's surprising that Rico Dowdle killed it this week. But if he's still available, there's an option. Yeah, it's tough out there, guys. You guys have anybody?
Keep it real. Your only option at running back, Jaylen Warren. I'm pretty sure he's still fairly unrostered. Ty Chandler. As far as running back, that's probably your best bet. Like you said, maybe Dalvin Cook if you want to take a super flyer. Probably want to trade for running back. As far as receivers, though, there's a fair amount of receivers available that I saw. Sterling Shepard, obviously. Quentin Johnson, like you said. Joshua Palmer as well. He had a good game. But a surprising one is Westbrook-Ikhine for the Titans. So I think he's had 3 straight games with a touchdown. He is like a red zone target over there. Mason Rudolph, that's his guy. Westbrook-Ikhine. There was one more that was really Jalen Coker for the Panthers. I really liked him. He's been showing some flashes. I think last game he had a touchdown and a fair amount of yards. This time no touchdown, but he still was targeted. So be on the lookout for Jalen Coker. You may want to stash him, see if he turns out in the next couple of weeks. And Xavier Legette, if he's still available. I know he's still available in some leagues. Couple of wide receivers, you still have some options. Running backs, I'll make a trade.
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered everybody there, Scott. I don't have anybody left.
Like I said, we got to work on the splitting of the players there, Scott. Player hog.
I have nobody left to recommend. Like you said earlier, Calcaterra maybe on the Eagles. John Dotson, depending on which one you feel better with. With AJ Brown out. Other than that, I think Scott pretty much gave you the rundown on who's left on wide receivers. Running back, go make a trade if you need to. There's really nothing left out there, and if there is, good for you. but for the most part, you're going to be super thin at running back. Wide receiver, you still got some options, but other than that, running back's pretty much depleted at this point.
Would say actually, I just thought about this. Justice Hill. I've seen he's available in a fair amount of leagues as well. He's been hit or miss, but he gives you like a decent floor of anywhere in full PPR at least, anywhere from like 8 to 12 points. I've been noticing.
Yeah, his I think a lot of his work comes from Derrick Henry just needing to take a breather, and then trying to just do a change of pace back. Other than that, the Ravens have been throwing the ball around much more than they have the first half of the season. I was kind of concerned there for a while if they were even going to, need those guys. Maybe they're going to trade everybody away and just use Derrick Henry the entire time. But no, everybody's. I didn't see on that one if because they just traded for Deontay Johnson, if he made any big splashes, if it affected any. Did it affect anything with Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Bateman?
Not at all.
All right. So, but as we saw with DeAndre Hopkins, it took a week or so with the team to kind of get acclimated and build some chemistry with their quarterback. DeAndre Hopkins went off tonight.
2 TDs.
Yep. So that may come next week for Deontay Johnson, but also he has a talented wide receiver room there, a little bit more so than Patrick Mahomes does outside of Kelsey, Xavier Worthy on some splash plays. I didn't see anything really good from what's his face? What's the other wide receiver for the Chiefs? I do this every episode. I forget somebody's name. Watson. Justin Watson.
He missed. Well, he didn't miss. Mahomes missed him.
Mahomes missed, but he didn't really show. Yeah, he didn't have anything to show for it, is what I'm saying. So.
Oh yeah.
But apparently their connection's not there. That was just an off throw. But that's the only target I saw go his way. I didn't see the entire game, but that's what I noticed there.
I want to say it was the only target.
Okay. All right, cool. So if we don't have any other waivers, you guys want to tell me where did the bad fantasy football hurt you this week?
Go, Scotty.
Oh, bad.
And don't make it stupid.
No, seriously.
Dude, you didn't give me 50 points.
No, CD Lamb go down with that shoulder was concerning. I would say CD Lamb and Malik Neighbors, right? Those two are very talented receivers that don't have very talented quarterbacks. So they came close to projections. Neither one hit projections. Both came close. And then CeeDee Lamb going for a touchdown actually injured his shoulder. So that's where it hurt me. My receivers. Talented, not so talented quarterback receivers.
Fair enough. What about you, Dale?
Yeah, for me, it was kind of all over the place, honestly. It was a combination of every position, really. But if I have to nail it down to one, I think I mentioned it last week as well. CJ Stroud, again, underperforming terribly. I think he only gave me 12 points in the work league, and he was projected for 25, 28, somewhere around there, I believe. He 2 really bad weeks in a row. I'm really, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm really considering starting Drake May over CJ Stroud next week. I think until he gets Nico Collins back, I don't know how good he's going to be for fantasy purposes or even realistic purposes. He's not playing good football. Back-to-back weeks of 9 and 12 points. You can't win with that, and I'm not winning with that. So Drake May had a up and down game, but he still went over his projections, I believe. I mean, he had 95 rushing yards, and CJ Stroud is not a mobile quarterback. So if I'm going to take the upside of the rushing ability of Drake May, over CJ Stroud how he's playing right now, then I think that's what I'm going to do going forward. I got to get points, and CJ Stroud is not giving them to me.
So I see what you're talking about because he took 8 sacks and lost a fumble in addition to his other stats. I see what you're saying with Drake May. Starting him this next week, the Texans get they get the Lions this week, so that's probably not a good matchup to have him in. He'll still get the ball to Dell and to Dalton Schultz. They're going to run that shit out of the ball with Mixon, but I think if you're going to try out Drake May, this would be the week to do it in Week 10. And then you can bounce back to CJ Stroud if he proves it to you and earns your trust back, because he comes back in Week 11, plays Dallas, then Tennessee, then Jacksonville before their bye in Week 14.
So let me give you the stats for Drake May real quick. 206 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 2 interceptions, 4 sacks, 8 rush for 95 yards, and 1 fumble lost. He's still got 26.74 fantasy points, while Stroud got me 12.54 on 191, 8 sacks, 1 fumble lost, and no touchdowns.
No sacks and no TDs. But mind you, so I think, like Johnny said, this probably would be the week to start Drake May. But the silver lining is that he should be getting Nico Collins back this week. Should definitely help him in the offense.
That's why I think that this would be the perfect time to run Drake, watch CJ, see how he does. He should be fine. He gets a couple of weapons to throw to, but whatever's going on with him and not being able to be at least a little bit mobile, get the ball out, and yeah, hopefully he can figure it out. And maybe with one of like his favorite receivers coming back, he'll get that. So hang in there, bud. I know I told you last time, but better days are ahead. Ooh, Drake May plays the Bears this week. But he's more mobile. He could scramble. There have been a lot of teams that have been able to play against the Bears and get some production. It wasn't Kyler Murray this week. He was only worth 9 points. But so if you feel bad about your CJ Stroud, I got 3 less than you. So you're welcome. I would have to say Chris Olave for me. That's the one that hurt the most. I was really excited to trade for him and get him this last week because he was coming back from his concussion. And I was like, all right, he gets Derek Carr back. Let's go. Excited. And wham, sandwiched. So that's where it hurt me this week. So
that was tough, man.
Yeah. These hits, man, like there's a difference in playing football and then just being malicious. And I think that hit on him was I just saw the replay, so it wasn't apparent. Like he just got sandwiched.
I mean, it was a bang play. Like,
yeah, it didn't look
ball went over his head. Both defenders pretty much hit him right at the same time. I mean, there's no way you can stop your momentum going full speed at that point. You're expecting the receiver to at least touch the ball, and you're just doing your job. You know, I get it's a defenseless player, but it's you got to let these guys play football. And like, granted, you know, he is injured and that sucks. Where do we go from here with these penalties? If you can't do your job without getting penalized, what happens? Really?
Turns into basketball, NBA.
Yeah,
it's like I love this game, but it's really getting soft. I get it's for player safety, but you can only take it so far.
There's a point where you are a defenseless player and where you are just making a play. And there's a line, and even Tom Brady has said it before, that there is a point where, as a quarterback, you have a responsibility to yourself to protect yourself and not put yourself in a position. If you do and you get a hit from it, then that's on you. You went to go and make a play. Can't have all these rules to keep protecting you to be able to do all these other things. No offense, but if Patrick Mahomes played 20 years ago when Tom Brady was blowing up, then you would have a totally different player out of that, because how he plays now, there are a lot of rules in place to protect him and the style that he plays. He's able to do these crazy sidearm throws that are just out of this world, and they work. But also, if you follow the rules of the NFL 15, 20 years ago, then his ass would be laid out by the time he got to that point. And that's just what it is. So, yeah, there's a point in protecting the players, but also there's a line where you need to let players play. And I think, unfortunately, they've been too worried about governing the rules so much. They're overdoing it, and they're hurting the game. And I think we're as fans not seeing the best football that we could see. It could be exciting. It still is. We love it, but it could be a lot more and a lot more real. So that's my thoughts on that anyway. Sorry.
Well, the NFL is an entertainment industry more than it is a sports industry.
And that's a shame.
Always got to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, do you guys want to do some starter sits?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Anybody got one in mind? I do not. I'll be honest.
I do not either. I did not have a chance to do any notes, and having 2 children under 2 does not help my cause. So let me take a look at this schedule. Scotty, if you got something, go ahead.
I do actually. Usually this wouldn't be a question, but the way things have been going, Dolphins versus the Rams, which I think is going to be an amazing game. It's the Monday game. Do you start Tyreek Hill or Cooper Kupp?
Cooper Kupp.
All the way, Cooper Kupp.
Personally, I think Tyreek Hill is going to have a hell of a game.
That's sweet. I'm playing Kupp.
I'm 100% playing Kupp. Until I see something different from Tua and Tyreek. Granted, he just had his best game back since Tua's been back, but
Trending
Kupp,
up.
it's Kupp.
So how you finish?
No, go ahead.
All I was going to say is that I feel like Tyreek is trending up, Tua is trending up, and Cooper Kupp had an amazing game, right? Probably the best game since he's been back. He's only been back a couple games, but Puka also was ejected for throwing hands. So I think next game Puka's going to be back. The target's going to be split more evenly. They also have other weapons. The Dolphins, they got Achan, they got Tyreek and Waddle. Nice.
So I've got my starter set, John. Do you have yours?
Yep, but you can go ahead.
All right, I'll go ahead. Mine are actually on the same team. So we got the Jets Cardinals. Start or sit Devontae Adams or Garrett Wilson? Now that we see that Rodgers can support both wide receivers, what are you guys feeling?
I still got to start Wilson. I love it. I'm a Devontae guy, and Devontae's obviously the favorite target, but Wilson is the younger, more dynamic receiver, in my opinion, at this point.
All right. Hear me out. Start Devontae. They're playing in Arizona. That's close to Vegas. Devontae could get back to his house that has the Taco Bell in it if he runs fast enough. No, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these guys against that Cardinals defense. Honestly, you just need Rodgers to show up, and that's the big question. But it's yeah, that one's basically a coin flip for me. They've shown it in the last game that both receivers are very serviceable. Just pick your poison.
But granted, right, they're both serviceable, but Wilson has outplayed Devontae in every game so far. And even before Devontae was on the team, Wilson, I'm pretty sure, is still one of the top receivers as far as points per game
Yeah,
in the
he was
NFL right
top
now.
5, I believe.
Yeah, he was wide receiver 5. So in every game, even though he's not getting as many targets, the benefit that a lot of people were seeing with Devontae coming over is Wilson's getting less targets, but he's more efficient with those targets, right?
Right.
So I would still go with Wilson. Maybe even if by a hair, I'll go with Wilson though.
I understand that, but I also think that Devontae and Rodgers are getting back into that click. You know what I mean?
Locked in.
Yeah. So I mean, like they're just gonna refamiliarize themselves with each other, and he's gonna be a better player for it. And the fact that that's gonna happen is going to draw coverage to Devontae, and then Wilson's going to open up even more, and he's super efficient, so more is going to go to him. It's really, you're going to have a 1-2 punch, and that's why I say it's coin flip. Like, just pick one. You're good. I don't think there's a wrong answer there.
Definitely not.
And personally, other than just the joke that I had to tell about the Taco Bell in his old house, that's the only reason I picked one with Devontae. So, but excellent choice. Yeah. So my starter sit for the week. Let's see, I just had it here. So you've got Bijan Robinson and Alvin Kamara both playing each other in New Orleans. You're going to have a high volume game with Kamara because there are no receivers left there. And you have Bijan that he even with Cousins spreading the ball around, he gets his. So what do you guys think on that one?
I'm going to make it quick. I'm going to go Bijan. I know Kamara's coming off a big game, but so is Bijan. I think that Falcons' run defense is a little tougher than the Saints. If I'm not mistaken, Chuba Hubbard just had 2 rushing touchdowns this last game. Yep. If Chuba can score twice, Bijan can score twice, if not more, given the opportunity. And he's a more dual threat running back than Chuba is, so he'll be catching more passes out of the backfield while getting, the rushing work. I just like the matchup of Bijan against that Saints defense more than I do Kamara against the Falcons defense. But like you just said, it's really a coin flip on either of these guys. They're both 2 of the top, probably 4 running backs in the league right now. I'm just slightly more in favor of Bijan in this game.
I'm gonna go with you. I'm heavy on Bijan though for a couple of reasons, right? Kamara is still playing through a broken hand and bruised ribs. Like he's not fully healthy from that. Olave being out, Bub Means being out. There's not as many other players on the Saints for people to worry about, right? They can stack the box on Kamara. He's essentially their only option besides Taysom Hill, right? Bijan doesn't have to compete as much either because Drake London, we didn't talk about that. He's day-to-day with the hip pointer, right? So he may or may not play. If he plays, more weapons for the Saints to have to worry about. If not, more volume for Bijan. Like Dale said, he's a dual threat. He can catch out the backfield. He can run it down your throat. Hey, it's either one. But and then I would say that the Atlanta Falcons defense is definitely trending up. The Saints are trending down. So for me, everything's pointing in the direction of Bijan. Kamara's still good, but I'll definitely take a Bijan in that.
Yeah, I see every point that you guys just made, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a reason that maybe Kamara is the choice. Excuse me. There's nobody to throw the ball to. You're going to have a desperate Saints team that just lost their head coach, that are desperate to find their identity, and they have a Taysom Hill that they can mix in. I think you're going to get a lot of creative plays, a lot of splash plays. You're going to have Kamara having to be a receiver some of the time. He's going to run the ball. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to – this is probably going to be – even with a very good, very slept-on Falcons defense, I think he's going to be able to do what he needs to do because he is who he is. And I think he's going to surprise some people. It's going to be a great game for both of them, but I think for those reasons, Kamara might be the choice because he's going to see the volume, and he is very good when he gets volume as long as he's not thrown in the crosshairs of a bad throw or a bad play. It's just we don't need to see Olave happen to Kamara. So
Yeah,
True that.
yeah. I hear all that, and my only thing is they're going to plan heavily and play heavily for Kamara because there is nobody to throw to. No Olave, no Shaheed, no Bub Means. You're left with Mason Tipton, Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill, Kamara. They're going to run the ball heavy, and they're going to play defense more towards the run than they are the pass because there is nobody to throw to besides Kamara and Hill, maybe now and then. Juwan Johnson mixed in there, but it's going to be a very run-heavy offense if they don't have anybody to throw to, and defenses are going to game plan around that, and I think it'll be tough sledding if they're going to have to rely on him for damn near the entire game with no other options.
Oh, hey, hold on 1 second, guys. Yeah, Michael Thomas. Yeah. The Saints need you.
That boy been chirping. Ooh, that boy
Hasn't
been
he?
chirping.
Hasn't he?
Ooh, she been talking big shit. I can't lie. Yeah, that man is. I'm not even gonna say he's salty because he's not like he's not making valid points.
Yeah,
that man is just angry though.
He jumped on there and said, like, "Wow, Derek Carr is the only quarterback in NFL history to lose to 31 teams. Legendary."
And the icing on the cake would be when they play the Raiders in week 17 and he loses to the Raiders and he loses to every single NFL.
That'd be wild.
That'll be the one he wins.
Probably.
Yeah. Screw Slant Boy. Anyway.
Oh man. I got one hot take. And I don't even know if it's gonna be hot, but I got one take before we start getting up out of here. The Vikings play the Jags this week. I feel like JJ finally has his big game of the year with multiple touchdowns and 100+ yards.
Yeah, I would say that is a take. Not one that I necessarily agree with. Go ahead, Dale.
Oh,
I'm guessing he goes for at least 2 touchdowns, and depending on how pass heavy they are and what their game plan looks like, he could push towards 200 yards receiving in this game. That Jags secondary, you can pass on them all day and all night. They're terrible. When you match up somebody like JJ against them, he could easily get 202 or 153. He can put up huge numbers in this game, and I expect he will. So I definitely agree with that hot take. I think he'll definitely have his big game of the year.
Yeah. The reason why I don't agree with that is I could see them getting out to a great lead and not want to risk injury to their star receiver. So he may get 2 tutties, but I don't think it's going to be a huge game. Not in the sense of maybe what you meant, but It's still very possible because he can own that defense for sure. But I think they're gonna say, nah, we'll get Addison some work. We'll do something else. Let's practice with some second stringers. They'll probably pull Darnold at some point. I'm just saying.
I got Addison for a touchdown in this game, and probably 60 plus receiving yards.
Think Hawkinson will finally show up in this game?
I think that first game he had to just kind of get back, get his bearings. I could see him doing that. So the thing that I see though is the Jags, like, they're pushovers, but they come back later in the game. They've shown that. Lawrence has had a couple games where it's like, yeah, he could even call it garbage time. But later in the game, once the defense kind of lets off a little bit, they start coming back. So
yeah, that's the offense though. So and if they're on the field as much as we think they will be, with the defense just getting bowled over, like, they're gonna get tired too. But this could be a big game for Brian Thomas Jr. So he kind of got slided in the last one. I think it was only worth like 7 or 8 points.
Yeah.
So this will be a good one for him to bounce back, I think, even though it is the Vikings defense. Excellent defense, but, maybe it works out. But, all right. Do you guys have anything else for tonight? Anybody you're hot on, trying to trade for? Any moves? Anybody you're ready to come off of?
Buy low on CeeDee Lamb with Dak Prescott out.
Yeah, if you're gonna try for anybody, yeah, definitely try for CeeDee Lamb. I would say you could also, depending, you could try for Kyron Williams after that rough game, but I don't think he's had enough down points yet for you to really be able to get him for a buy low. But I'd say buy low on CeeDee Lamb, like Dale said. You could also try for Malik Neighbors, right? Because it's looking rough over there, but that man is still going to get anywhere from 10 to 15 targets a game. That's been proven. So eventually they got to get it together, and Neighbors going to find the end zone. Like I said, if you're in full PPR, you're at least going to get those receptions and get those targets. So if you can buy low on Malik Neighbors, I'd go for it. And
based on what you just said with Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr. did not have a great game again, even though he had a big game last week. This was a week where he was right back down there with barely anything. You can try to buy low on him as well. They have a bye week in week 11 also. So not this week, but next. So you can try with that manager, thinking that they need to do something to sub them out anyway. And if they're tired of the disappointments, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Cardinals have a fairly good end of season schedule. When they come back to the bye, they've got the Seahawks, the Vikings, Seahawks again, Patriots, the Panthers, and the Rams. So now would be a good time to buy low on him if you're wanting to get an explosive piece that could pay off. All right. Well, I think if that's all we got, fellas, we'll call it. And would like to thank everybody for listening, watching, sharing, and subscribing. We're still wanting subscribers. We're still looking for comments in the YouTube channel. Anything to engage with you guys.
Increases our engagement.
Any suggestions? Anything you'd like to hear? Any start sit advice? I know it's really hard to when we're not doing a live stream. Just hoping that the question that you have last week applies to this week, and it's a week late, so you don't get that answer unless you post it on the most recent video, and then we read it and then answer it for you. But like I said, hopefully we'll get this Discord up and running. We'll get that situated so we can do live streams, or at least have a message board where where we can interact. It'll be a little bit more fluid, and it's not just somebody having to go back and check a YouTube video or 2 or 3. And so, yeah, other than that, guys good?
Yeah, just like, comment, subscribe, share. Just help us grow the channel. We're just here to engage with you guys and give you guys our opinions on, the fantasy football week before and the week coming up, and just football in general. And we can't do that without you guys. So please, help us out so we can help you. And I want to say shout out to my Warriors, 6-1. Excited for the new season. Just had to throw that out there. Now it's basketball season, so I'll keep the basketball talk to a minimum, but just had to put that out there.
Yeah, man. Like, comment, subscribe. We do it for the people, man. So do it for us. Comment, like the guys been saying. Any feedback, anything you guys want to say, even if it's just support, encouragement, we need it all. We'll take it.
Absolutely. And if you guys would like to come and find us, the one social media page that we are active on and are able to share on at the moment, trying to get it separate from our personal accounts. So it's its own standalone page. It's a little difficult. They don't like that over there. But go check us out on Instagram. We'll be under JSD Fantasy Football. We post every week to remind people that we're going to be putting an episode up and when it is up, and we include the link there for the YouTube. So keep an eye on that. We'll try to post changes there. And other than that, that's kind of where we are. So good luck this week, everybody. Hopefully you all win and they all lose, and that's it. No more injuries. Let's hope for that. And yeah, that's all I've got. So good luck to you all, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, next week.
Later, guys.
All right, take care.